The cycle layers behavior is the most versatile behavior in all of Character Animator and can take your puppet to a whole nother level. So instead of just having like a pop-up exclamation or heart eyes, we can actually do frame-by-frame animation with a trigger using the cycle layers behavior. Okay, so let's do it with the heart eyes. Let's make them kind of get bigger and cycle through different sizes to give it a little more life. Okay, so I'm going to go to Magnus and I'm going to go to Edit Original. So what I want to do is actually I'm going to duplicate these heart eyes a few times. So I'll turn the visibility on, select that group, and I'm going to hit Command C, then I'm going to hit Command F. That would be Control C, Control F on a PC. And the F is paste in front. So that allows it to paste right on top of it, rather than Control V, which would be the middle of the screen. So that's a good one to know. The next thing I need to do is I actually want to rename these. So it's going to be a cycle. So I want it to start maybe this size, and then it's going to get bigger. So I'm double clicking and just renaming it these sort of 3 different steps. But right now, nothing really would change because they're all the same size. So maybe step 1 is this size, but step 2, I want them to be bigger. Now there's a few ways we could scale these up. The simplest way would probably be switching now to the black arrow and holding down Option and Shift and scaling them up. Okay, so step 2, they're bigger. And then step 3, if I select that layer, I could make them even bigger still. So again, I'm holding down Option and Shift together. Now right now, these would sort of shoot out from the middle. I could make the hearts have the same centers, but let's just test drive that. Okay. So now that I've got the sort of cycle of 1, 2, 3 steps or sizes, let's go ahead and get all of these in one group. So I'm going to hold down Shift here, select all 3 of those layers, and hit Command G. Again, that would be Control G on a PC. And I'm going to rename this Parts. Okay. Now, when I go back to File and Save, when we cruise back to Character Animator, and I hit that same button, I get all of them at the same time. And I don't want that. I want it to actually go through those 3 steps one at a time. Okay. To do that, I'm going to go to Rig, and I'm going to go to the Hearts layer, and I'm going to say, I want to cycle through that. I want to cycle through these 1, 2, 3 steps. And to do that, I'm going to go over and add a behavior. And again, that behavior is called cycle layers. When I apply that, you can see there are some defaults, which we'll test drive right now. And it'll work, okay? And it's still going to be triggered by the letter S because Hearts has the same name that it had before. If I did change the name, I would have to sort of rebuild that trigger. But I just kept the name the same, so that's why it still works. But when I go to record, and I hit S, it just kind of shoots out one time. And it's very fast. So let's go ahead and customize that a little bit. So instead of it shooting out quite so fast, I might say, hey, instead of 30 frames per second and having only 1 frame, maybe I'll do it at 2 frames, which means that it would be playing back at 15 frames per second. So it's going to give it a little more time. And I don't want it to happen just once. I want it to happen continuously. So as long as I hold the button down, it's going to loop through that cycle. Let's go ahead and see what that does. So when I go back to record and I hit D, just kidding, S, you can see I get that nice little animation. And so you can see how using the cycle layers behavior can take your triggers to a whole nother level.